By now, you've probably figured out that money doesn't grow on trees, but sometimes it does fall out on the highway in front of you, and this happens a lot more frequently than you might think. But this does beg the question, is it legal to keep that kind of money? Tuesday, April 22, 2025 started out like a normal day in the Chicago suburbs. But that evening, just as rush hour traffic was building up, a Brinks home security truck driver started down South Austin Boulevard in Oak Park. For reasons still unknown to local authorities, the supposedly secure truck's back door opened and 3 bags of cash fell out. When the driver realized what happened, upwards of 100 people were taking money off the street before running away or making a break for their cars.
Or they knew, we gotta get up out of here before somebody sees us.
The cops eventually arrived and surrounded the vehicle. They attempted to find surveillance footage from nearby houses, but no one was arrested for taking the cash off the streets. Brinks estimates around $300,000 was taken in total.
I never had that much money unless to add up all the years of money.
Being in a stalled car on a busy road is pretty much every morning commuter's worst nightmare. Fortunately, most drivers aren't carrying hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in their trucks when their car breaks down. Don't ask us how it happened, but on a Thursday morning in September 2023, yet another malfunctioning armored truck cost someone thousands in Charlotte, North Carolina. The only thing the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department told local media was that a mechanical error caused the Garda-World truck to stop abruptly, which apparently forced one of its back doors open. Several large metal containers filled with, you guessed it, thousands of dollars in cash toppled out onto the very busy Sunset Road. Police and the driver estimate that about $100,000 disappeared in the process. And while a police spokesperson admitted that some people did get away with the money, they didn't make any arrests.
It was pandemonium, man. Barrels of money all over the street, everybody out there.
In fact, they weren't even sure how many people might have taken the cash. For all they knew, a bunch of it could have just flown off into the wind. Authorities had to close down all but one lane on Sunset Road to get the pricey mess cleaned up. When you picture a money truck, you probably picture a cargo hold filled with cold, hard cash. But it turns out they also carry colder, harder coins from time to time. In July 2023, a Loomis security truck driver was traveling eastbound on I-96 in Eaton County, Michigan, when he realized a little too late he was coming up on some traffic. He tried to brake, but he didn't quite make it and lightly struck another car on the road. Unable to keep the truck under control, the Loomis driver ran off the road and into a ditch. Unfortunately, all of the security truck's doors unlocked on impact, and a literal truckload of pennies and other coins were sent flying into the dirt and weeds. Michigan State Police handled the substantial cleanup effort, but wouldn't tell the media if nearby witnesses made off with any of the loot. At around 9 a.m. on Friday, November 19, 2021, the California Highway Patrol started fielding reports about a big mess of cash spread around I-5 in the city of Carlsbad. Apparently, a Sectran security armored truck accidentally dumped some of its cargo when its doors opened on the freeway. The cargo in question?
Money!
Now, we don't know exactly how much was in the truck to begin with or how much wound up on the road. What we and authorities do know are the faces and license plate numbers of the people who picked it up, because a bunch of them posted photos of themselves holding wads of the loose cash. Unfortunately for them, the CHP and the FBI saw some of those photos when they were brought in to investigate.
There's a lot of video evidence of people stealing the cash from the freeway and picking it up.
They issued a joint statement reminding people that it's illegal to swipe money that fell off of a truck, and encouraged anyone who hadn't already to return anything they took. So there's your answer. Nope, you can't keep found money from an armored truck. Darn. It was the early evening of July 9, 2019 in the Atlanta suburb of Dunwoody. As a Garda-World truck made its way down I-285, one of its doors flung open without warning and nearly $200,000 flew out onto the road. More than 15 other drivers saw the accident, and they immediately pulled over. As we've pretty much come to expect by now, no one thought to help the driver because their eyes were on his cargo.
You have to be stupid not to at least grab some amount of money.
By some miracle, the chaotic scramble for cash that followed didn't cause another car accident. By the time the Dunwoody police arrived to secure the area and put an end to the chaotic cash grab, as much as $175,000 was already gone. One motorist personally collected $2,000 but gave the money back after he saw the spill on the news. Within a day, 6 people had given back a total of $4,400.
What would you do with it anyway? Okay, you'd have to go say, oh yeah, I got $175,000 in my closet.
Only about $170,000 to go. Every year, the Indy 500 brings hundreds of thousands of people out to the crossroads of America. But in 2018, that was only the second craziest event to hit the streets of Indianapolis. One May morning, a Brinks truck slowed to a stop on I-70 after the driver noticed the back doors had swung open. The accident had made a massive amount of cash come crashing out of the vehicle. After hitting the ground, several of the bags tore open, causing around $600,000 in loose bills to blow across 4 lanes of highway. Though the state police showed up fairly quickly, it would take them over an hour to secure the scene, enough to stop the good people of Indiana from scaling fences and crawling through the street to help themselves to that sweet, sweet road cash. Okay, one of the big takeaways we're getting from all these accidental cash drops is that these armored trucks should really stop getting on highways at rush hour. It was at that exact time on a Thursday morning in December 2018 that a door of a Brinks truck traveling down New Jersey's Route 3 opened, spraying big bills all over the street. Now, driving anywhere in New Jersey can be a pretty harrowing experience, but when drivers start seeing $100 bills gliding down the road, all hell broke loose. 2 more car accidents occurred as passers-by tried to make sense of all that green paper appearing out of what felt like thin air.
Where's the rest of the money?
It's everywhere.
As the Brinks driver ran around the street trying to get the loose cash into a bag, many of his neighbors stopped, grabbed a handful, and drove off.
You want to call them good Samaritans? No. Police call them thieves.
Some folks did help the driver and the police collect that very literal payload, but that didn't do much to quell the surrounding chaos. Authorities didn't disclose how much cash had leaked out or gone missing, but the truck driver did get around $6,000 back after the accident. So, what do you get when you mix a truck leaking money with a city full of struggling musicians? Well, we get the answer one morning in April 2016 when a Loomis truck's back doors opened during transit. Unfortunately for the driver, this happened on Brick Church Pike, which anyone who's ever driven in northern Nashville knows isn't the ideal place to dump a bunch of cash. Though, to be fair, where is. As is par for the course in these situations, several bags of money flew out and sent cash flying left, right, up, and down. And, well, you might think that cash flying onto your windshield would be a beautiful sight. It's a lot scarier when you're going 60 miles an hour.
All in the street, in the middle of the street, on the side, on the ditch, over by the pole, all over the place. Everywhere.
The Loomis driver pulled over and called some of his colleagues to help retrieve the lost loot, but many people driving by had the same idea. Loomis hasn't disclosed how much cash wound up getting dumped that day, let alone how much of it people stole or what caused the truck's door to open in the first place. Either way, you can bet that Stephen Miller's Take the Money and Run was on some Nashville cover band set list that night. Rhode Island may be the smallest state, but apparently its armored trucks are just as capable of losing huge sums as they are anywhere else. In July 2016, a Brinks truck carrying several extra-large bags of currency was on its way to Rhode Island Hospital. On the way, the truck's back door blew open and spilled 3 sacks of cash onto the road behind it. Unfortunately, there was another car trailing just behind the van that immediately ran over 2 of the bags, tearing them open. Thousands of dollars were quickly snatched up by the wind before falling to the ground.
I don't know what I would do. It'd be like, pick it up and keep on going.
The Brinks truck's crew attempted to catch the money as it fell, but were only able to recover a fraction of what they lost. They estimate that $20,500 went missing because of the accident. Who knew the American healthcare system could cost someone so much without ever even checking into a hospital?
If I lost $20,000 and somebody found it, I would hope they'd give it back.
Okay, what is up with these Brinks trucks? So far, we've heard about cash dumps on highways, major roads, and outside a hospital. So we guess it was only a matter of time before one happened in a tunnel. In July 2015, the Maryland Transportation Authority police got word that a Brinks truck malfunctioned in the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel. Sure enough, its doors opened up and painted the street with dead presidents. Money flew all over the place, from the roof to the walls to inside other drivers' cars. But conveniently, tunnels are a confined space, so the bills could only make it so far. And while some did get stuck in vents and storm drains, authorities and Brinks employees were actually able to collect a good amount of the costly cargo after closing off both sides of the tunnel for a swift 8 hours. As far as passing motorists were concerned, whatever they didn't pick up in that time was fair game. Lots of people got out of their cars to grab any leftover cash they could, probably because they didn't realize the tunnel had cameras filming them do it.
People just not in the right state of mind, just see the money, get out and go.
Authorities gave citizens 48 hours to return the cash, no questions asked. Anyone who didn't give it back after that could be charged with theft, because as you now know, you can't keep the cash. Florida man crashes money truck, loses thousands. I mean, come on, it's a meme that writes itself. Miami's Overtown neighborhood is historically one of the poorest areas in Florida. Back in 1997, some homes in the area didn't even have running water or permanent floors. So no one could believe it when a Brinks truck carrying over $3 million spilled thousands worth of cargo onto the Overtown streets. The driver was speeding up an I-95 on-ramp when he lost control, hit a guardrail, and turned the car over. The back door opened up and a bag of around $300,000 fell out. Others also went flying, sending loose bills up into the air. Cash and coins went everywhere, and there was so much loose money that Florida Highway Patrol had to use shovels to pick it all up. The fact that they also had to secure the area as nearby citizens swarmed to get a piece of the action didn't make that job any easier. The whole mess caused a miles-long traffic jam as people who lived near the accident grabbed as much money as their pockets, shoes, shirts, and socks could fit. Some women even threw cash into their children's strollers. All told, around $400,000 disappeared in the mayhem, and many of the locals saw it as a blessing.
People got children could use that money. You see what I'm saying? Especially me. I got kids. I could use that money.
Well, that didn't stop the police from charging the Brinks driver with reckless driving. Don't worry, America. Our neighbors to the north have also dealt with catastrophic losses from an armored truck breakdown. It was a windy day on March 23, 1988 in Toronto. A Loomis truck was on its way to stock a bank downtown when it suffered a rear door malfunction on the crowded Gardner Expressway. All at once, 3 plastic bags holding a total of around $225,000 in Canadian cash tumbled onto the road. The good news? 2 of the bags didn't rip. The bad news? Passing drivers quickly stole them. Just like that, $150,000 of the bounty was gone. The third bag did break, shooting cash into the air and all over the general area. The way a spokesperson for the Toronto police tells it, people left their cars on the road and even jumped the median to try to grab a handful of the loose dough. Well, that stopped pretty quickly when the Loomis driver pulled a gun. Still, about $75,000 went missing, but it wasn't a total loss. It was only Canadian money. Kidding. Sheesh. Those Canadians are trustworthy folks, you know. By the next day, around $5 had been returned.